games.
This is where it gets pretty serious. I can't see anything. Stop, man. Stop.
Last card come up, went bang.
Try and winch it up, at least we can work on it.
On the toe. Very slow on the toe. We'll get there.
Well, we're back at it again this morning. Car hasn't moved overnight. I've definitely had...
Oh, there, mate.
Yeah, roger.
Turn out a bit.
Definitely had better campsites. Not much flat ground. I hate shit trying to get beers out of the fridge. Like, everything was a nuisance last night. Good feed, had some
A bit more out, please, mate.
had some good burgers that Broady organised, so that was a bloody good time. A few beers, good sleep, back at it this morning. So Natty Boy joined us in his Defender last night. Did a good,
Oh, mate, zoom in.
he did a good job to get in here in the dark. The boys spotted him in. He hasn't done a huge amount of forward driving, so this should be a good test for him. Well equipped vehicle, so he should be right in that front. But yeah, a couple more rocks to move and then we might be starting to drive up this thing in the next half an hour or so.
Oh, there, mate.
Also having some battery issues again.
Zoom out, mate.
This demanding winching, it's not a huge amount of weight on it, but it's still draining my main battery, which means my auxiliary isn't charging while the car's running anyway. AGM problems, I guess, but yeah, lithium's on the way, so that's just a matter of getting that sorted out. Well, we've got up nice and early, as you can tell by the sunshine. Had a late arrival last night. Another Defender was just heading this way, so he couldn't get any further, so Nat's joined us. He did a pretty good job of finding us last night. Nat, any problems?
No problems, mate. A couple of detours.
Yep.
But you know, a few U-turns and you're around.
I think you did well to get to that winch blanket that we put out for you.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah.
Achievable?
You tell me.
We'll see. We should know in about an hour when we move one more rock and send the patrol up there.
Anything's achievable, mate.
Yeah.
Another set of hands is more than welcome today, and it's good to have another Defender in the convoy too. As this gully was way too narrow to fit a four-wheel drive through, there's been a couple ton of rock that we've had to move out of the way. Luckily, these are all pieces just small enough that we can move with a winch. The constant in and out on the winch and sling repositioning has made it a time-consuming task. The main thing we've been worried about when moving these rocks around is making a mess of the situation and have a huge rock fall into a spot that'll make the track even worse. So it's been small moves at a time to try and prevent that. After hours of shuffling rocks, we're happy enough with a line that should fit a vehicle through it. Our last thing to think about though is something to winch off for that first vehicle. And with no big trees around, it's going to be a matter of slinging around rocks for an anchor point.
Trying to just find something that looks like it's anchored enough to hook the winch on it once you get the patrol up here. So, not sure if this is going to cut it. Hopefully we won't need it, but at least we'll be ready to go if we do.
With just about everything out of the recovery boxes, we should be set for any scenario. Nick's finally happy with the path up and ready to give it a crack. And for the first time today, a vehicle begins to move.
Here we go.
Yep. Just hold it there, Nick. We're going to fill this hole.
Just got the boys packing up a bit of track. There's one rock that's going to be pushing against our driver doors, so we're going to try and shuffle over. The other issue is I don't have a rear locker, which I would love, because front one in tight technical spots, you lose your steering.
The first step here might be one of the biggest, and with a turn straight after it, it's going to lean the vehicle over onto other rocks. We're not out here to dent panels if we can avoid it, so I'm taking as much care as I can, spotting the patrol up. But this line just isn't going to work, so Nick backs it up to get a better angle at it. I throw a heap of max tracks in the hole to help the approach. These are a lot lighter than rocks, and usually more predictable to drive on too.
Yeah, I reckon, just because I don't want to creep in this way.
It's very close.
Too close to my liking. Very close. Too close. Back her up, Nick. Yep.
Get a bit close to the rock from the door.
Yeah, that's alright, Nah, but you're still, this one's about to come up, heaps.
It is.
Yeah.
As soon as that comes up, we're going to get better.
Yeah.
That's ready to come up, isn't it? I think it would be alright. It's just if that also, as it's climbing, if that skates like an inch, done.
Alright, that's highway miles, that is. Smooth.
Just a little bit more. More. Yeah, a bit more. Yep.
We give it one more shot, with a wider line once again. But with increased angle, the patrol's crabbing sideways even more.
It's got to go.
Let's move it.
If the only damage I do is the mud flap, I'm stoked. We can't bring Angus up further and just winch that off,
Yeah, we probably could.
because otherwise I'm going to have to get over here again.
You ready to go, Angus?
Good to go, boys. I'm just going to unroll the swag of a quick kit, get the keys out.
You're kidding.
I think they're in there. I had them in my pocket last night. You guys got them?
I got mine. He's rolled his keys up in his swag. Put his swag away. Got in to bring the big truck forward. These are in the swag.
No, they weren't in there. Just tired.
As we'll leave it out, we're probably not moving much further for tonight.
I thought this was camp. It's a little bit nicer than the previous evening.
It's always good to double roll your swags. You can probably get a little bit smaller the second time, unlike this one. That way you give yourself a bit more packing space.
Probably also a little bit smaller because there's no keys in there too.
Yeah, a little bit more lightweight. This is where I keep my spare set of keys at all times. Well, we're just going to pack this little rock here, this little hole, because Nick came really close to actually hitting his sump and sway bar on this big pointy one. But we'll get Angus up, probably 15 metres. So then we can get his winch out and move this rock. We just can't get Nick around it without probably putting a hole in the panel in the door, so we don't want to do that. We don't really have brush rails all the way around the vehicle to bang off rocks, so we're just going to move it. Even if it drops where it is, basically, that'll be better than what's happening.
So Nick's back where he started, and to prevent him from reversing over a difficult section that he drove yesterday, it's going to be a lot easier to get Angus up closer to winch this rock.
This one rock, we've had to move it and it's been a bit of a pain. I've got a car here, we've got a winch line running behind it because I'm too close to winch it myself. It's just the way we choke it to get it to move where we want. It just hasn't really fallen perfectly, so you know, keep jigging it and try and spin it around and use it as filling a hole, I guess.
Yeah, nice. Nice, Nick. Easy, not bad. There's a long way up your slider.
Must have been this side or something.
Hey?
It must have been this side. I've hit something.
This side?
Must have been this
The
side.
rear bar.
Oh, yeah.
This rock is loose though, so I think once you drive it,
Yeah, it's going to spit it
it's
out.
gonna slip out
Yeah.
probably. Yeah. I'm going to send you close to the wall.
It is.
Oh, cool. And then can you go back again?
Can we put something to stop that rear bar getting smashed?
Can you straighten up more and all? And back? Yep.
What if we fill this hole a little bit here?
Yeah, that'd
so
be
the
great.
back's not dropping onto this, because that's what the
Maxis or
maxis are even.
that perfectly rectangle rock? That rear left feels like it's struggling.
Yeah, it's just dropping pretty low.
Yeah.
Yeah. Poison.
Nick moves over onto a new line, closer to the wall, and after a bit of help from that front locker, sees him drive up with minimal fuss. The steep exit is what we've all been thinking about though. With a sharp left-hand turn out, its only saving grace might just be the huge amount of grip on the rock wall.
I'm gonna need locker, aren't I?
Not necessarily.
I'm gonna turn it off because I don't reckon I have the steering for it.
Just like that, the big rig is up with barely even a wheel lift.
That was shit.
How'd it feel?
It was a bit nerve-wracking, to be honest.
Yeah, well, you were bloody close.
Right.
Bloody close to
There's
every
parts
edge.
there where you need to give it.
Yeah.
But we've got a winch anchor now.
Yep.
It doesn't need to be as ruthless.
Yep.
But
The steadier the drive, the easier that'll be. So.
once again, reduction gears, if I had a rear locker,
Oh, definitely.
a different story.
Yep.
Now that the big patrol's up there, better see if the old 80 series can sneak her way up. Cleared a bit of a path, moved some rocks.
The 80 is well suited to this kind of terrain too, with plenty of travel and 35s. Angus has also recently added a wider track and new extended flares to cover those tyres too. But the last thing he's wanting to do today is rip one of those off. Let's see if we can keep him off the walls, because not having a locker may require a bit more throttle in parts.
So just straighten up and back about a foot. Yep.
What the camera won't show here is just how much of a hole we have to straddle. Spotting the vehicle through tough terrain like this, you really want to guide the car all the way through and not forget about the rear end. Sometimes this can be forgotten when there's still so many obstacles up front. Angus has the same rear bar in his truck as Nick, and they do ruin the departure angle a bit when you're on steep rocks like these ones. So sending Angus wider, hopefully minimise the damage, is what I'm trying to do here.
Yep. Coming up here. Just roll back and forth. Yep.
This little section keeps catching us out too. With diff catching rocks laying around and low tyre pressures, it's causing a lot of things to watch out for. Nat lost his shit pretty early this morning at all these flies, hence his fashionable headwear. It hasn't slowed him down though. I think he's paying particular attention, as he'll be driving the Defender through this soon enough. Once up onto the rocks, it's following the same path the Patrol's just forged. Steady momentum's really the key here. It'll keep him climbing a lot easier and stop starting at every rock. And now that we've seen Nick drive straight up and out, this might be all too easy for the Land Cruiser.
you've got 2 metres, so you can kind of give it, and then once you feel the back come up, go that way. Get that. Can you go a bit more?
Just try and give it a little nudge back.
Straighten up. Yep.
Keep going, touch more, bit more, hold it there.
A bit hard to start with this terrible handbrake.
Stay straight.
The first attempt up the bowl, Angus has his rear bar hung up just enough to take any load off the rear wheels, stops to his track.
Right, roll back on that, Angus. Let it take the weight. Now just a nudge back, mate.
Got me there, so you want me to go further back?
Well, let me just check.
Yeah, so yeah, I think you got to just a little bit of the right hand down. If you can just go back a couple of inches. Or full lock it this way, you can try again. The front right's going to climb a rock, and there's no weight there, so it wants to lift it.
Am I a bit beached here?
Yeah, no, you can't go back, you're wedged on the div.
Angus, just nudge it forward a bit.
Just take the weight, don't need to really move much. Like that, Angus, do what you just did.
Yeah.
Now that Angus has shuffled over to the right, we've got ourselves a big old wedge Land Cruiser. To back up for another attempt, we've first got to raise the rear end in order for the diff to clear some rocks. Now that's where Max tracks are great, giving an extra bit of height when needed.
Hold it there.
With the rear end clear, Angus lines it up once again. But after multiple efforts, we're still left with one front wheel in the air and one rear wheel spinning in a hole. And given the steepness of the track and what still lies ahead, risking it all here right now doesn't seem to make too much sense.
We're going to throw the winch on. It's just, we've had a few attempts now, so I think we just don't have the time to just back and forth on this one all day. I mean, there's no shame in getting the winch out. There's a pretty big wheel lift. Wheel's still in the air, so.
A short winch pull and we have another car up. That could just be the difference between a patrol having an LSD rear and a cruiser being open. But either way, I reckon Nick will be sure to remind Angus of how it all unfolded.
First time using the winch.
Few love taps. Oh, me trailer plug. Oh well. Now we've got to get the rest of these damn cars up here.
With Angus up onto flat ground again, with only a mud flat missing, he's pretty happy, and certainly thankful he threw that winch on before leaving. We've still got the 2 defenders to come though, and this is really just the start of the tough stuff. There's many more step ups, and even parts we're not exactly sure where to go. But metre by metre, we'll continue to make progress. The top of the hill was the goal for today, and with everything going to plan, surprisingly, we're on track for once.